Vijay, state அப்படி ஆற்ற state அப்படி ஆற்ற
Okay.
இந்த பாப்பை கட் பண்ண சொன்னாங்க
Mobile data. Blur
கொஞ்ச நேரம் கழிச்சு கிளியர் ஆகும் சவுண்ட் கம்மி பண்ணலாம்
mobile data connect பண்ணிக்கோங்க.
Wi-Fi. Data money.
Okay.
A very happy morning, everyone. This is me, Tej Modi.
This is me, Harish.
Welcome to AAM Business School. It's a pleasure to welcome all dignitaries, head training of AAM, and all my friends who have appeared here today for the event in spite of your busy schedule. COP Connex, a panel discussion on the topic HR Trends post 2020.
It's a pleasure to welcome all the dignitaries who have been present here for this event.
I welcome Mr. John Subakar, HR Manager at Doosan Power System Private Limited. He has 16 plus year experience in this field. I welcome Mr. Sinay, Senior HR at Mercedes-Benz. He has 9 plus year experience in that field.
I request Mr. Alex Melvin, head training of the AAM, to welcome.
So before we got on to the discussion, let's see the prior happenings in the corporate sector during 2020. There are certain advantages and disadvantages during this period. Let's see the cons. First one is employees layoff. Major company lay off the employees and also cut the salary for the employees, which was a major drawback in 2020. The next cons is about recruitment. Recruitment became difficult during this period because of lockdown, and also the process were happening in online platform.
Even though there are various cons, there are certain pros. The main advantage of this cost efficiency. Cost efficiency. The company has been cut down the electricity and other expenses due to the shutdown of the company. This is the major advantage of the company. Now let's start getting to the high-breaking session of this event on HR Trends 2020. I request Alex sir to start with.
Okay, sir. So, very good morning. We have a personal discussion. There are a lot of questions I think probably they have and I also have personally. So, I have been into HR for almost close to 10 plus years, over a decade, and we have seen many HR professionals making transitions basically. And first of all, to start off with, I think in my experience in this decade, I have not seen an adversity for a HR fraternity actually. HR fraternity actually, I don't know, many people don't know this, but most of them feel that HR job is more secure, where we are more of in a job security perspective and we only decide what is job security follow up. I think in my life or previous seniors, what I have seen is I have not seen a job security scare for HR, and that too for a managerial cadres basically. I think this first time during this COVID lockdown and all that, I think I have seen literally in my eyes. And I've also seen other advantage also that most of the HRs started equipping them, learning them. I think this is the first time I think they have got. So probably first let us start off with that. First, I would like to share, start off with your personal viewpoints on how was this COVID-19, maybe the lockdown or this entire year of 2020, and how it has been for you, basically. If you can start off with this.
COVID-19. So COVID has literally a roller coaster for not only for HR industry, or finance, marketing, all industry has been got damaged. For HR team, for HR industry, people we are facing a lot of challenges first. First, we didn't even think about COVID will have a dash, and we thought this how to overcome this challenge, how to overcome this hurdles with this COVID-19, how to save our employees first. And first, as soon as lockdown came out, we are in a mood, and the management decided to make a work from home concept first. And either we don't have an option, we provided the work from home option for some. And secondly, the health camp after providing the home work from home, people can't get out from the lockdown. So they said we don't have any properties of the company. We managed to provide that in transported to every homes of the employees and we safely want to deliver whatever the things the employee needs first. If the employee wants his work from tab or laptop provided first, then we decided to give a work from home after 2 months of COVID lockdown starts. Then slowly we tend to recover that. Then we can bring one by one first to the employees to the company. Then we started we have social distancing happened, and all this safety precaution has been done. Then the main part is the attrition. Everywhere, wherever the employees being newly joined or senior employees, the attrition part is too difficult to us because we well know a guy has 5 years of experience with us, who was working with us. We have to the management board to decide his salary. His salary is too much high. So the management thought that we can't even afford to pay him. So what we did is we gave an attrition, we gave a layoff to the employee first, and then we just kept going back. We told that we will retain you back. So that's just a hard thing we faced with. Sending our employees back, and after retaining we just got to know we had we got it back. But it's a very hard. COVID-19 is a really roller coaster for everyone. So we faced a very hard and difficult times. Once we faced that employee attrition done, so we want to retain the employees which we set up. First, employees didn't have any. So why so you are sending us back? We worked here, we've been loyal. So why you are sending back? Because we don't have any option. We are faced for the employees by the management. So we thought, okay, what are the management said we have? Basically, as HR, we have the decision makers. We are the decision maker. But at that time, at that situation, we are unable to do the decision. And what are the management needs? Financial crisis happened, health crisis, all this we had to thought, and we had to do admission. We did admission, and we did came back. We did came back with a bank with 2021, and a lot of sometimes we are unable to provide a salary to the employee. So 1 month we just get the salary as part in this COVID time, and we didn't provide salary. And then next month we provide a 40% of salary, then 50%, then 60% like this. Likewise, we just grow up the range of the salary. In that, it was a very hard time. Every of the employees, it's been if in our organization they have 100 members, we just literally took 60 members out, 40 members in. One guy has two responsibilities. Likewise. So we did it responsibility, a burden has been given to the employee, and he did that, and he did successfully. He worked, and we rewarded them. So COVID, after this COVID, we just came back with old salary, and we retained the employees first, and then we are now with that. And then okay, we find the organization is easy going, and still we are surviving. But COVID-19 has not yet gone. Still it is there, but we are making a safety precautionary measures. So still we have been afraid the phase 2 might come or not. But we have to check whether the employee safety measures first.
To come to Alex's questions on HR, whether is this the first time that HR fraternity is facing a crisis? Earlier was very there were many crises earlier also. If you look at it before globalization, it was more of a manufacturing or domestic kind of opportunity for HR. And then when globalization happened, everybody got an opportunity to move out of the country, out of the industries, and to a bigger world. And then we have the economic crisis came. So during the first crisis, I was in the middle of my career, and where I could see huge panic all across manufacturing industries, all industries got hit. So not only on the technical side, also on the support side, the HR, finance, we had crisis. So maybe generation which is 2-3 generations before would have gone through that experience. And yes, this pandemic as such, has come suddenly. Economic crisis was forecasted, just taking time, and people were feeling that crisis was swallowing them slowly, and we came out of it. But so there was a time to diagnose what was happening. Okay, people were able to understand as they were going into and coming out of it. But pandemic is completely different. It was a sudden hit to everybody, global, not only India. So earlier economic crisis was mostly India and Asia and a few countries. If you say US and other countries. Whereas if you look at pandemic, it is not just India, Asia, it's global. So when it was hit in Europe, okay, and everybody was looking at it was mostly of European crisis, okay, problem. And then when people travel because of the logistics to different part of the world and the numbers were just increasing, that's where the sensitivity was just coming into the industry, especially for India and Asia. And top management were looking at it, HRs were looking at it, and suddenly government introduced the lockdown. So we were seeing, we were anticipating something would come out, but was it so sudden, so quick? That was our shock. So when I was around 10 o'clock in the morning, we were just saying, okay, something would happen, okay, how do we go about? That was the kind of discussion we had. I had with the management, with my directors and so on. So we initially thought, okay, we'll send the employees first. We have both, we have factory as well as engineering station. So we thought first, okay, we'll send the factory part of it first. And then we thought, okay, no, let us have the food and food. Okay, then, so that was one. Second was the engineering station. So we were planning as to whether the crisis will be for a few days or few weeks or a few months. We didn't know. But then we had a infrastructure like engineering part of it. Where already all the employees were having their own. And this guide was being initially meant for only the top management or managerial level. Then we extended to engineering level. So that really was advantage for us. That was really which gave a bandwidth for us to face the crisis and attend to the immediate requirements of the business. So that is how we were. Mostly we were in a project company, so project was slowly getting mature. So the production also was almost getting close. So we were not hit as such on the production side. But engineering side is really hit on that. So if you look at the HR fraternity part of it, yes, crisis has pulled out the profit, revenue, turnover for the company. So some of the companies like business Okay, some of the companies have been salary cut for a few months. Then some of them have laid off. Um, so there are so many mix. Okay. Second one, what we have done is during the pandemic, we have ensured that employees are on not traveling much. So we came out with HR policies, guidelines, and came out with communication more. Some through WhatsApp, some through mail, some through HODs, some through functional heads, team leaders. Extensive communication was happening is to track where the employee's location is, whether he is traveling outside, okay, whether he is traveling frequently from one place to the other. Because if some of them felt it is a holiday time, they never get such a time. So they are visiting their relatives, cousins and all that. So there we brought out some kind of policies to there where the HR was getting into to sensitize the employees that pandemic is not a holiday or something. It's really a threat to their life, their colleagues' life. If they come back to office, they may be in contact with the other. So it is a serious business. So we brought out policies and process tools to track the employees. So weekly tracker we had, and that was been sent up to the managing director, crossing 3-4 lines up to managing director. So if there is a COVID cases in the family, you are tracking. Okay, if there is a COVID cases of the employee, you are tracking, and that immediately went up to top management, managing director. So and then we reach up after the if somebody is being affected, whether they will be hospitalized, they are on home quarantine, what kind of support do we need to extend, and we have a religious department, we have HR department. We are reaching up to them to advise, give counseling because they are panicked. So how to come out of the panic? We were initially not prepared, then we thought we will contact those employees. So HR department, not the HR department, religious department, another department reach out to those employees and check whether they are in the hospital, whether they are in the quarantine, whether the symptoms are okay. And we were just giving some kind of counseling to them, don't worry, everything will be okay. But we also face some of the employees lost their family members. Okay, our own companies had many lost their father, cousins, like that. So that was very difficult time. So recently, near first I got to know this on one of my employees on the past. Pandemic is not gone on. Okay, so we are moving today. Here also we are not having any face mask. But pandemic is not going away. People are dying. Okay, but are we prepared for the crisis? Yes, we are slowly getting prepared. The antidote is already been given to people. We are very confident about the herd immune system about it. Okay, we have not started again the production. Completely, employees are not coming to office. Only engineers are coming. That initially we were starting with few numbers, maybe 10 employees would come. Then we increased to. So we had a crisis preparedness, like a team to prepare the office, whether it is office ready. Then the HODs came and see whether the office is secure and safe place for the AFE. And then we asked them to find a layout plan to seating arrangements. Okay, and then we went about what we call the rotation method. 10% deployment, 20% deployment. We went to gradually, and now we are up to 40%. Though we say 50%, but 40%. But in production, we are not starting it. Okay, it's because there's only closed clusters, and people from lowest, from people live in a very close community where the spread can take place much faster. So we have still not engaged the workmen full. Yeah, they are working, but only on priority basis where the spread can take place much faster. So we have still not engaged the workmen full. Yeah, they are working, but only on priority basis we have been deploying. Now coming to the crisis and the impact, how it is creating is now look at. People are calling initially people are enjoying this holiday, but after some time people started calling, when will I come to office? What is happening? Will you call me or not? So this was more pressure from the employees when they wanted to come to office. And we also received some people saying that, okay, I've been coming to office in the crisis. Okay, some people are not coming at all. I'm just giving the perspectives of how people are looking at it. What we're saying in the pandemic, people are at home. Some people are coming to office regularly because they are into critical job. And there are some people who are not come for a long time and they will have a kind of anxiety. Okay, what will happen to my job? Whether I'll be laid off, I'll be chucked out, I'll be given salary cut after some time. I identified lists of people who are on priority members or key players. So many questions were there. So people who reach up to the HR team, lower management, lower team, could not answer. So it comes to the higher team. And then we thought, okay, we should equip our team to all levels. So we had giving knowledge to our team members to handle those crises. Okay, that is one. The other one was, okay, when the people were not coming for a long time, and the people who came every day, they had a kind of concern saying, I'm coming every day. These persons have not come for a long time. And he's been paid the same salary as I am. So what is the difference? So then we had to look into that and see that, okay, how we can adapt, sort of that issues and bring those people again. Then we brought in rotation cases, not only on priority, but also some percentage of people who has to come and get into the office culture. Because some of them were losing the office culture itself. It was quite long time, almost 10 months. So the work culture, that was slowly going up. So that was another concern employees were having. These are real factors that they facing. And this slowly, if you look at my company, as a fear of job loss is the start. It has started with other companies because most of the companies came out with the salary cut and successfully layoff. Many companies have introduced VRS schemes to reduce the overall operation cost because when productions are not happening, the delivery is not happening, billing is not happening, so revenue and the cash flow crisis is there. And to manage those cash flow crisis, we had to look into the operational cost as we reduced as the organizations are saying the cost cut, the electricity consumption. Yes, it has come from almost 50% to sometimes it has come to 30% of what we have consumed. And then food, we had food canteen. The expenses come down. Okay, your transport has come down. Okay, employee engagement has come down. So overall, the operation cost we are trying to bring it down, and that is one way I think as a business people who are into revenue, we need to look into that. Yes, we need to reduce the operation cost. But at the same time, employee engagement was another part. Okay, as we said, they are not being connected. They are lost. Their morale is gone. Work culture is in a gap, and they have gone into a family kind of work environment. Though they are working at home, but you can use your money. So that was one part. So how we can make use of this money that we save here? How we are going to use it in the employee engagement when employees are at the work from home? So that was some thought we were looking into it and see that what kind of program probably we can bring about, and then who will run those programs, whether the HR team, because reaching out to all the teams is very difficult with the HR team. So which division, who will be, what kind of person will be suitable for that, what kind of activity you are going to connect with those people. So those things will be very systematically looking into it. And then not HR team or support team or admin team, it is also the technical team which was getting involved in engaging the employee. And the team leaders, how we can engage them with the employees. So Zoom meeting or whatever Skype mode we had, we were asking them to allow the HODs or team leaders to allow the members to talk. Okay, participate, share money. Okay, and to give updates. So that's how we are slowly engaging it. And one or two engagement activities, one or two sharings, okay, personal sharings, something like that to connect the people. And off the line, one was also when they were having a discussion. we were saying that okay, please have some identify the family situations, what is happening around them, what is their mindset, okay, whether they are secure or not. Those things we were asking them to do. So that was one part we were doing. So employee engagement was very good, but a lot of challenges there because okay, technology is supporting to some level, but the other side is whether the persons who are engaging them, whether they have the qualities to engage. That's also a concern. So engagement, empathy. Okay, these are the qualities that probably will be looked up to when we have more of a work from home. Now,
Actually, one point which I think, because we have started with this, I think the human factor where we meet each person and feel. I think when we are developing our HR or employee engagement overall, the idea would be is to the personal satisfaction comes in when they meet, when they sit in groups, and we break the ice. Right? There is a format I think we all have designed when it comes to employee engagement. There's a particular format and how people have been done. But I think this pandemic has taught us a new way of employee engagement where virtually many people are there. I think, as you rightly said, I think this remote work culture has been one of the very big employee things that they were asking us for very long. Sir, I want to work in home, very safe. I will manage it, sir. Don't worry, I will take care and all that. I will work-life balance and all. I will manage it across. But I do feel this has actually turned against. Now, this work from home has become one of the killer of work-life balance. Is another argument that people have. Another argument that you said is, I am comfortable, sir. Actually, I am very happy, safe and secure. But most of the employees, I think, would have argued with you also, sir. I think it was the Rumanala people are also saying, sir, when I come to work, at least I have a time limit. At least I break by 6, and after 6, I have time for home. But now, I don't have time, which is like 24/7. I am engaged in somewhere or other. Yes, work is limited only. I am not working 8 hours. It's fine. But that 8 hours is actually splitted across, which means I am really not very sure of how I can work right. But some companies, if you say many big corporates are even not called employees. They say be happy and safe. You work from home itself, no worries about that. I think there is again a thought process where HR is working on a new working model altogether from work from home on this culture. Now, when we talk about this employee engagement, work-life balance is something which I think many people have so many definitions for that, so many arguments going on. I think little bit we can just clarify from your perspective because I think both of your companies have a mixed variety of employees. You treat kind of a very normal labor who is very family connected person, who is very family, lives in groups, and you also have members who are isolated, who live in just single kind of work culture. I think you will be the right person actually to understand these both actually how these people have gone inside and all that. Now, what exactly how this work-life balance? What do you feel in this pandemic? How you have done certain things to understand that, but still, as an HR, do you feel that have you gained that momentum or?
All employee has been included in this trial. So we have a technician, we have an IT guy, we have a GM sales, GM service, and after sales product service, mixed of variety of employees. So some people can do work from home, some can't do the work from home. Basic technician can't do work from home. So in our industry, we have the technician has to come. If he is supposed to come, the car should come to the service center. So there's no use of cars. First of all, see the car usage is low. Petrol, there's no total lockdown cars stay home. So first of all, that's two aspect. Number one is technician aspect. We provided among them, we brought one technician per day. We had a schedule that this week for a roster we have this week this employee should come. Next day another employee should come because we have to check their safety measures and company safety measures. So we have to check whether their areas are red zone or yellow zone. We have to check first. After that we have to check our areas secure. First start from security to the receptionist, to the their car. Even cars should be sanitized. So we face a lot of struggle. We face financially also. So more sanitizers, money involved. Moreover, we have put more money. And coming to work from home, so basically work-life balance has been like some people are very much comfortable with work from home. In IT industry, these people first say that, sir, I've been working 8 hours. In between, I have tea, snacks, I just go around, I just have a break, I have chit chat, I just play around and come back. In home, I can't do that. Because 24 bar 7, they have been working. Their personal life has been disturbed. They will be like working, but in the workspace, work culture is totally different. So, motivating that employees to work from home. And as per Sir said, that people who are not even working, they execute the same salary. We have to balance that. So, first we brought the technician in that aspect. First, we have to bring the technician around, check the safety measures, and just withdraw. And then one by one, we just brought cars and service and send by safety. In IT or in work from home aspect, some high level people, so low level people didn't brought to work from home process. But high level people like GM sales, they are much comfortable with the work from home process. Still now they want work from home. HR is before that all employees should come on time, leave on time, punch in or punch out, all this stuff. Policy has plays a lot of HR. For organization, whatever the policy HR is making, that is the policy for the organization. Whatever we get, that's the policy. Basically, that's the organization. But we revamp all the policy and procedures. We break the policies. First, that's the one. We break all the policy, like 8 hours work, 12 hours daily working load. We break the policy and we made new one, fresh one, which that is situated for this pandemic time. And we did that. Some people did that we don't come back to office. Some people was very much comfortable with this work from home. Still though we're facing that we brought all the employees to company. 70% employees came back. But 30% employees we are comfortable work from home. Please provide work from home. So now the management decided not to give up work from home process. If it is an IT industry, it's totally different. Till the December 2021, they are in work from home. HCL people, they are in work from home. TCS, some people are there work from home. But not in automobile industry, it's totally different. We have to bring all the employees to a company and we will check the safety measures first. And we still know we are doing this safety measures by a cost to the company first. So we are looking out to finish this crisis. But if the phase 2 of pandemic comes, we are prepared. Before the pandemic, we didn't prepare. At the time, we just made a sudden decision. Decision making is too hard to us. Now it is okay. Whatever the decision was, we have planned. We have a team for it. So we have designed for the future pandemic if it comes. If it hits, so we have to do. Either work from home, this process like still we are facing that issue. Some people are comfortable. GM says we can have team work from home. We will still some technician will work. That employee will be seeing he's working from home. I should wait. We are facing that salary issue first, and they are looking over for other people. As Johnson said, this guy being called out, another day is not coming. So the same thing is still not facing. We are just looking out that how to come over this fraternity and how to overcome this. Still, we are HR are facing this. But soon we bring all 100% of employees to the until then we don't have, but we're still facing. So, Johnson.
According to me, I would say work and life balance. Those companies which had a high work and life balance, okay, have gone little off the track. Okay, maybe earlier a company who, if I take my company, we had a very good work life balance. That's why our attrition was very less. Okay, it was only 2% initially, some 2-3 years back, 2% and 4%. Now it has come little 4 to 5% because of the business scenario. The attrition has gone a little high. And of course, many companies are introducing VR screens also, so again, that will also be effective. Okay, for work-life balance, if you look at it is based on a job nature. Okay, there are jobs that requires physical presence. A person has to come to a particular place to deliver the job. As like as a technician, sitting in production department, in manufacturing processes, or in a server people who are handling the server. So those jobs has now disturbed because now we are looking into very restricted travel. Safety measures are coming in, and if somebody is going for a personal visit to his native place on a holiday mode, okay, he's coming back. So again, engaging him requires some time because of the quarantine. Okay, so you see that those people who have gone on a personal leave or on a holiday, engaging them immediately, it takes little time. So there, the work is little getting affected. Whereas the other way around is people who can work from anywhere. They can connect to net, okay, or virtual mode. That is not going to affect much. But if you look at the productivity, if you look at during the pandemic, whether the productivity has been got affected or not, that measures, if you look at it, I would say in production it has affected very greatly. On engineering or on the online support board, the engagement level, the productivity level has come down because of various reasons. Maybe people did not have sufficient technology like internet, broadband connection was not there, so the connectivity was not taking place. The data upload or download, if they had the bigger capacity to download bandwidth, then not bandwidth rather the load, then it was getting stuck and slower, the hangover was happening, power cut was happening, power backup was not there, and third one is the work culture at home was not there. Some other people who can work in any environment. They switch mode, okay, from half an hour to 1 hour to 2 hours. They can switch mode. There are some people not like that. They need a dedicated and focused job. The nature of people like that. So those people wanted to come to office. They said, I can't work from home. Okay, there are people who we know where we told no, don't come to office, please work from home. So he preferred from one of his own flat, move to another flat. Where his family is there, everybody is there, the other flat is empty, he has not there about it. So there are some people who need to focus, okay, and work. They have to look into minute levels, longer focus is required, and there are social environment which was not supporting the children's presence, wife presence, mother-in-law, father-in-law presence, or ladies presence, or Mrs. presence. Okay, that was disturbing. So we see that work from home and the productivity, if you look at it, yes, it has affected. Technology, because we are not equipped, people are not equipped with technology and power backups, that has brought on the production. The other one is the environment was not efficient, so they were. But the other part of it, some people who were traveling for 2 hours one way, okay, or 1 hour one way, that was something was safe. Okay, some people who had a nuclear family to take care of the children, and they can deliver the work not within a specific 8 hours, but they can deliver it maybe the next day. So they have longer duration, and they can meet the family activities. They can do the working also. So there, the production managers or the team leaders or project managers were supposed to understand, because when they give a job, when the member is not replying, because he is not there, he responds for the message after some time. So people who expect immediate response, there was some people happening. So you see, the work culture has really been affected. So project managers, team leaders need to be prepared to understand, yes, they are in the different work environment, and that may delay their response level. So there we had a policy that, okay, fine, if how long if a person doesn't respond, we can take it as absence. Okay, so it was a new look at it. So people were reaching out to say, ma'am, sir, I just sent a mail, or I called him, he did not return a call. I sent a message, he did not reply to it. I sent a mail, he has not replied to that. Okay, I am trying to reach him now last 1 hour, 2 hours. What to do? I said, please take some more time. But when the frequency was going up, number of people were responding like that was going up, then we thought, okay, fine, we should come out and say, okay, fine. He is not responding within the 6 hours, or 3 hours, or 4 hours, depending upon the department. Okay, we brought out some guidelines and then we will find if the person is responding within that, please sensitize, take it to the next level for escalation. Okay, and if it is beyond, then we will remove it, bring it to the management, and then we will remove it, and then if there's some genuine reasons to, because of technology, because of internet, because of power, okay, fine, we will understand. Otherwise, we will be getting. So, the policy was supposed to be re-looked at based on what was happening in ground reality. So, if you look at it, work and life balance, we cannot simply say that okay, it is completely being affected or completely not affected. There are some people who are able to manage work and life better. There are some people who are not able to manage it better. There are some people who need special focus. So they want to come to office, and 8 hours they focus, and after that they will go to family life. There was a good balance also. So it's a mix of many. Now the challenge for HR is looking into these all scenarios, knowing the ground reality. Only when you reach out to these people, managers and individuals, you come to know what is happening in the market, in reality, and then you assimilate that. Then look at what could be we cannot have. We may have a broad one-line policy, which we need to customize it to specific groups, and that's where the HR skill required, where we need to look at the ground reality. So we cannot be any more white collar like sitting in a desk and working desk work. Rather, we need to reach out to people, know what is happening, and take that and then put it together. See how we can customize. Yes, we have a broad online policy. How within that policy we can bring smaller, segmented, applicable, workable processes, and then give it to them. Then you have to support the managers, division heads, the directors of the company. Give the confidence to them. So you are going to play a vital role. Unless you have a ground reality, you don't know the right reality. You will not be able to manage or you will be able to convince the management. And it will be very difficult. So we need to tell them productivity is getting affected. That is yes, it has come down at some level. Some people it has gone up. So overall, if you see, yes, pandemic has brought down the productivity, and some department it has not affected. So that is my part. So work-life balance is always been a challenge. It is being there, now also is being. Some companies have a very good work-life balance, some companies do not have. So if you look at it, a company who had a good work-life balance now may have got little lesser. The company did not have much work-life balance. For few people who have got better. So it's kind of very mixed, my point.
I think this is the point. I think the arguments that many people have there, because most of the time people say that Google, Amazon, bigger companies are there. I think the major points that some set of people will have is basically, so there is no fixed time hours. There is no login time, log out, and all. You just have been assigned a task to complete the task to leave. That's the culture they have. But I think what Johnson sir was saying one point is that people are more organized. They want to kind of work for 8 hours, finish it off and go. And they don't work in a kind of decentralized format. They don't like that. And they hate these companies. They say, what is the start and end date and all. Please tell me what is my login and log out time. I don't know what are the login. No, it's based on task. No, I don't like this actually. Guys, it's very decentralized and all that. So I think larger companies also face. I think this hit, as you rightly said, you are representing a bigger branch. So there was a perspective that bigger brands were immune to certain things. It's a cash-rich company. They're immune to all adversities. I think it has been a lesson that also that people like bigger brands also have learned during this pandemic. Is one thing which I have seen this. Another major question. I think this is again popping up. You would like to continue? So the hiring pattern. I think this recruitment part. I think
impact for this pandemic, it's not on bigger brand or small. So the impact is that how the organization, the company takes it. So even in Mercedes is a big brand, we didn't have an impact. But the point is, after post COVID, after this December, we took in plant 360 employees. They are all of 10 years of experience. Marketing head, we did operation. He was working for 15 years. Not at the good time. After this December 2020, there were 360 members in plant. There it is the high salary people, high experienced people like sir, we are still being provided. So even we can't even communicate that. Yesterday he was speaking to us, yes, yes, we are fine, everything is good. And today suddenly after he said, so I just said to him. I asked why we can have a marketing there. What's the so called? So they decided 360 employees have been able to versus the plan equal. Even we can't take the urge, its impact has been made. Every company, it's a big company, smaller, but how the impact is going to take over the organization. In this point, so as a leadership, we retain some employees, we retain a large who is high salary employee, just everything. And the impact has been there, but how the organization going to take that impact. So even if it is a big or small, the impact is there.
That's a thing that is what I think is the most affected is the largest economy in the world. The US is worldly done. And India, which many people thought it is an underdog, where it did not actually cope over, I think we really coped up with so many challenges and all that. And actually, there are so many work allotments. I think the entire HR job description is being once again being tested for this time actually of handling all that, as you said. Where I think it was kind of a trial and error what we have. I think all of you, both of you shared an experience where sometimes it worked, sometimes it backfired. It was actually, it's not of an implementation, but we don't have any call, we need a response quick. I think that is what you have said. I think, and some of the things which we would have never thought, as John was saying, this 6 hours response time, I think we would have never thought something like this where we were only in the mindset of leaves and permissions and all that, but there is a new loss which the company altogether has introduced. And when we talk about HR policies, I think till today, even we have training discussions, people in person we talk during induction also people have questions. But I think right now we have drafted, implemented with people are not there virtually and making them understand this. I think it's a bigger task that we have handled. Now, there are two questions I think before we start the Q&A and all that, which I think runs in my mind and most of the time people ask this question. I think commonly we ask this question. I think you would have also been facing every day, right? So the hiring pattern, like how the hiring pattern is happening. Personally, you can have your experience also, like how your companies are running. What as an HR overall you feel that how hiring is going on right now? Like once upon a time, I think we had this. We avoided walk-ins. We avoided completely. No need a person should come. I think we did everything offline, which means right from selection, screening, hiring a person, inducting him, putting him on board. That induction was just happening on board online. It's based on the company's technology and based on the designations, of course. As you said, some of the designations cannot be done like that. You have to see in person. But sometimes you are supposed to not see a person in time because of restrictions that government has posted. But how do you think this hiring has gone it across? Because there is a decent kind of arguments again. Some of them say that yes, post it is running positive. Yes, companies are really looking out for a lot of people. Yes, recoping it is. As you said, we are the higher bandwidth salary have been prone to attrition, but the lower bandwidth requirement has gone to skyrocket. The requirement has gone high. So there are mixed kind of responses that people are having. But as an HR, you know that hiring is not going to be normal here. Usually, hiring recruitment is a very tough thing as an HR. Personally, if you ask me, recruitment is something is a very hard area that HR has to treat. And this has even more aggravated. So, what do you think is the hiring pattern that you're looking out for in this new normal? If you ask me,
Hiring, if you look at it, I'm just talking about first my company and then I'll come to the general. We usually don't hire a person just like that. Okay. any position that we create, we have a very thoughtful process to it. And it is very necessary we create that particular position. And then deciding whether this position is going to be on the roll, or it is going to be a fixed term contract, or it is going to be consultancy mode, what kind of engagement, or contract mode, third party contract mode. That they will design based on the duration of the job. Say if a job requires maybe more than 3 years, then we make it as a permanent position. Otherwise, we will make it as fixed term contract or renewable contract 1 year or extended to another year. Or completely shift it to contract. We also see the delivery part. If we have a shorter span of time, budget is lesser, okay, and a lot of requirement is that we need close monitoring of this, which with the current resource we are not able to do it. So we will do it, we come to third party contract who will manage it and give it the deliverable time. We have a very specific time. So that is how we decide on what kind of position it is. And coming to it, whether the recruitment is whatever the recruitment that we are doing in the company, we have a very almost 7 rounds of interviews here, okay, for on-roll employees. So we are very careful to select an employee, and that too if they have a very close skill set, only we will skill set and growth, only we will hire. Otherwise, we decide not to, or we will take longer time. Even if we take longer time, we will hire. Because actually, hiring a person who is not meeting the requirements and growth will be a burden for us, and later engaging is very difficult, and the entire work culture is getting affected. So we don't take a decision on that. So we are very clear on competency basis. If they meet certain competencies and their behaviors, then we recruit. And whereas the other part of the the market, if you look at general, yes, people are hiring. On off the track mode, on online mode, they are recruiting it, where they have say some back office support. Many others, the industry is completely different. Where you need to you can train them through PPT or through video classes or interactions or work skills on voice processing, maybe on backend support. So they are able to do it. So that BPO ITS companies are able to recruit huge. Okay, that is different. And technology, if you look at again, because of the new challenges ahead, the emergence of technology which is going to come in, whether it is a support team like finance or HR, whether they are equipped, the current resources is equipped, upskilled, okay, with these technologies, techno savvy kind of guys, okay, whether they are able to be there, that requirement is really a challenge now. And second one is the mindset of usually looking at everything in person and then addressing it or bringing policies or changes in processes. Now you have to look at virtually, connect people, imagine the environment in which, and then you have to make process and system changes. So that is a completely different skill set. So skill and the role now need to be very carefully being taken. So companies, yes, they are recruiting and they are looking into a very clear thought process into it. So that's why they are looking at whether you are what kind of latest whatever courses that you are taking, certification that you have done, what kind of process that you are involved in, what kind of tasks that you have performed, whether you are exposed to that particular tasks and the environment. If that is so, they are trying to. It's only a guess game. Okay, you are going to recruit a person and virtual mode and then put them with all this criteria. But if he is performing fine, it's fine. If it is not, so equipping not only HR team, also the hiring manager. Okay, and then later on, the hiring manager and the team which is going to engage the particular person, that need to really look at it a little differently from the traditional mode. So yes, recruitment is taking place, but there are cautious decisions. The strategic positions are being closed. Okay, and currently if you have some projects, and for completion of the project, we are recruiting. People are recruiting, industries recruiting. But emerging technology, for that, whether we have this particular skill set based people, that what you call gap is there. So if you look at it, recently Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Orissa, and Uttar Pradesh has a kind of better employable workforce. But if you look at it in general, there is a gap. So management is now looking at it, okay, whether instead of laying it off, okay, I will find out whether this person can be trained or upskill or reskill and then put it to some other function so that he already knows the culture, the teams, various. So that is how we are looking at it. It involves cost. Okay, now online, most of the training is going online. Again, training ROI, return on ROI is again a challenge. Yes, recruitment is a risky part. Recruitment is happening. For strategic position, definitely is going to happen. Lot of thought process will go into it. And for projects which is in hand, we are trying to take off-the-shelf people like plugging in. So people who are in competitors, you look into that and just capture the persons. And now taking the persons, training them unlike a classroom mode, virtual mode, we don't know the efficiency level part of it. Yes, it's going to do it. Yes, but again, online mode is very good for looking into a global workforce. If you want to get more resources throughout the regions, maybe Asia, different countries, but training is online training is actually we can cater to those vast majority of people and then recruitment. So it's actually kind of mixed. Again, I would say, okay, it is not a clear cut. Yes, it is happening. It is not happening. But if you look at it, whether the amount of open position is in the industry, that is not come to, because we know the current people are getting laid off and people more than high cost resources are being reviewed. Okay, people more than 45, 50 have to be on their toes to see whether they will be meeting the strategic skill requirements, the adaptability part of it, the learning speed part of it compared to the younger generation. Okay, so many things are there. But again, leadership part of it, you look at 45 plus years of experience who had to be in the leadership positions, equip them into that leadership positions. So the top people are leaving, okay, who are high cost and age around 55, 60, and 45 years people, whether they have the skill set to push it to that level, and what kind of succession planning, leadership training program that we are going to come in. So whether it's going to be internal choice or going to be the external choice, okay, it's going to be a very risky, calculated move that every HR, the hiring manager, the management has to take a look into it. So that is again, as we say, as we all know, HR, not only HR, the entire business is going through a lot of stress. And a clear thought through strategic approach alone will save the profitability, the operation part of it, and the working culture, life balance, overall productivity, everything can go really where you look at it very strategy, not just in general.
So as you say, we have three timelines. First timeline is like pre-COVID. Before the recruitment, whatever the recruitment, the guy walks in, we have to make a screening, we have to get the forms, pre-employment application form, all this stuff will be happening. And we will have a face-to-face round, and then we will just go for next level. It's a old traditional process as per recruitment. Recruitment is really hard thing for HR people. But to get a right candidate, we do many things. We are doing the aptitude test, all the face-to-face test, communication, all this stuff we will be doing in the traditional part. That is before COVID. That is, literally we enjoyed sometimes we enjoy the interview, sometimes it's really hard to find a candidate for the right position. That is traditional part. But till now, recruitment is a hard time for HR. In coming to post-COVID time, pandemic time, recruitment is like we just don't 10% of recruitment we did. Like in COVID pandemic, many employees lost their lives, their family. All this like one employee has been working, so his father died full. So what is it? He's a managerial level. So he want to take his father's business. He don't want to work anymore. So he's a very much important factor in the company. But we don't want to lose him. But he took a personal decision that he has to move. Now here the recruitment start. So for a 10% of COVID pandemic, recruitment has been low. Now we are working for that managerial position, important level of recruitment, which is the hard time of screening the employees by virtual Zoom or some Skype first. Then they have been brought in person face to face. Not easily we just come to, because due to pandemic safety measures are first, then we just had a virtual meet, telephoning round, again a virtual meet, again telephoning round, final face to face round for salary discussion. So 10% of recruitment is done in pandemic because main question has to be closed out. Some people lost their lives in COVID, so that question has to be cleared out. So for that recruitment works. After this pandemic, it's now totally like a mixed up as a job sector. Mixed up. We do vertical, sometimes face to face. No more walk-ins comes, no mega walk-in, nothing. It's all virtual now. Whatever you want, people has to apply, they may apply by online. If we see the profile, if the candidate suits, then we just have a conversation with the candidate. And then we just have a face-to-face round. Final. So now it's totally mixed view of recruitment that we get most 70% will go away online. Posting jobs, all this stuff will be done by online. Before that, we have some pamphlet or references or consultants. Even consultants is towards pandemic. So now mostly all online. We go for virtual meet. Then finally we have to discuss if that question is required. Basically, the screening and this recruitment part, every company has a design. So Doosan Power Company, they have 7 types of recruitment stages. Here we have just 3 parts. It's a quality candidate also. Some quality candidates will appear, but we didn't take it. Due to his salary or due to his, the requirement is not enough for his quality. Sometimes unqualified people will be accepting for job and we train them. Training is the main part for them. Whether this guy has to train in 1 month, he is doing a pretty good performance in his job, then we move to the next level. And maybe the training of the employees has been affected, and mostly it's a virtual. So we send the people to plan 2 days like this we have. Now everything is made online. The training has been taken by online, test has been taken by online, everything done by online. So recruitment now is a totally mixed review. Either we get a walk-in, ragging or mega walk-in, that's nothing now. So we have a virtual. So mixed review of recruitment now, and this is the hard part that some quality candidates we get, some not quality people we don't get. But even though they've been interested due to this pandemic, everywhere the people says, candidate says, during pandemic I left the job. Hardly 90% or 70% of employees who left the job, they go to other company or other organization for a job. They ask, during pandemic, they left company, left the job. I am not working. So how do we take that candidate? We simply say, we can't say that due to his performance effect or due to his he's not working. We can't say he's not in work. But the COVID pandemic part, many candidates say that we just came by COVID.
As rightly said, whether it is the company's ability to hold the employee or it is employee's inability to leave the job, that is where we are actually moving. Second one is workforce planning. If you look at it, unless the management or HR team or people analytics teams looks into what would be the future requirements and to see whether the internal resources who is having one skill, you can make it as multi-skill because the fast changing business environment, they require at one particular point of time one particular skill, and maybe after some time another particular. So it is better to have training industry to have more of multi-skill resources where we can engage multi project or assignment mode. But also they were earlier people will have I need to go into one particular job, one particular project. No. I think now people should be prepared to switch from one skill to another skill or from one project to another project or one job to the another job. So maybe engineering to production or production to engineering or production to projects to marketing or marketing to projects. Person who is into project delivery suddenly be transferred to market. A marketing guy who is was taken the project, now is asked to handle the project. So you see multitasking and cross-functional learning can it really be a strategic move in the future to see whatever recruitment that we are taking for the company is very balanced. Okay, it's going to affect the number of hires in the market initially, but it is a strategic move. So profitability is much better. When profitability is much better, the company can divert its profits into new business or expanding the business. By expanding the business, the resources probably would have got the opportunity lost, maybe getting into it. So that is the other where training has to come in place, and the recruitment speed initially may be slow, but gradually will come up. Maybe because of the government policies which are being on infrastructure and mini energy part of it, maybe will accelerate the growth from V-shape much faster, and private sectors will invest more on new businesses and greenfield innovations, where probably we can see maybe another 6 months the recruitment can go higher. But by the time the market, the skill market should be ready to meet to be deployed. So that's where we can use the pandemic, the slowdown time, instead of sitting and feeling about it. Okay, we can prepare us, equip ourselves, and get exposed to the maximum. Technology is available, everything is available online. You can use YouTube or other forums to platforms to learn and equip yourself. That is where we can use this particular time. People who are laid off also can revisit their skill sets and see where the job market is going to be, what kind of skill will be demanded, and then equip it and then be taking it forward. So we need to make use of the government schemes which are coming into the industry, which is sponsored by government. There are some other companies also sponsoring program on upskilling. So if our resources, the human resource, especially for individuals, they really look into that, they can definitely get a very good time immediately, if not maybe after 4 months or 5 months or 6 months. I think that's everything.
Moreover, the employee got a multi-skill talent. The job and responsibility where we join is totally different. And the work culture, the responsibility has been put on burden more to that employee. And now he is prepared to another dimension. He will be working as a technician. Now he is a workshop manager. Due to this COVID, the responsibility has been doubled toward one single employee, and that alteration part, all this happened. Then that multi-skilled employee is now as a manager. So this is happening still now. Due to this COVID, it's a positivity or negativity. It's up to you. If it's a positive side, he'll just move on. If it is a negativity, he just give an alteration. He just quit. That's too much of load, work pressure. I just leave, I quit. At that time, that recruitment again it comes. The cycle returns as per you. So it's hard part. People who is adapting the environment of responsibilities, double job, like single guy has to do the two responsibilities. If he adapts and he survives, he will be rewarded. If he doesn't know that he thought it's so much of work I have to leave, I quit my job. Surviving is very much important in this industry for the employees. If people know how he's going to survive, definitely he'll adapt that culture and he'll adapt that job. So multi-skill is being now, it's high now. People are now, they have been asking, I do the job, just give me the salary. I am doing the two jobs now, just provide two salary. But we are unable to provide two salary. They are providing 70% salary.
It's a very fact as a HR cases, it's only because you're doing your study here. Right? That is what
Finally, they realize you are the only HR who just do recruitment admission. They'll come back to us, etc. We have no discrimination.
I think it has been a very good discussion actually we had almost we actually touched upon so many things. I think as freshers some things they can relate to something. I think it was completely HR talk which I think we had. So I think now we have a small Q&A session. I think we have a lot of questions to ask. Some of them are really looking for an HR career. They want to become an HR basically, and there are so many things actually. I think when we were in our college also, I think our dream job also was to become an HR. I think we of cinematic experience that we had, but I think when we joined the company and we actually was Jaipur, I think we understood that and we survived and how all this thing was said. I think we like us, very few actually have crossed. I think HR also had this problem right now. I think many people, as you said, were not able to cope up. I think HR also had a similar thing. As HR, what do you do? I think what are the tasks that you can handle? It's only HR or you can do something else. Like what's the kind of multitasking was even question to us. I think somebody who was really able to cope up have actually sustained. Now the sustainability has come in this approach. So I think with this mode we would just take it forward and any questions you have, then please ask us.
So,
Please.
I'm Agarwal. So I
You
have
can
a
tell
question.
whom you are asking.
Both, sir. So as you said, you are looking for certain skill sets for each domain. So as a fresher, what are all the skills you are looking for from us? Can you explain?
Okay, first, let me just straight from my point. Okay, I'll tell you how I build my career and then come to the question. I got a very good college background, and many offers I had whether I want to go to a bigger company or a different company. Okay, so my friends all chose to go for a very big brands. Okay, I did not. So everybody was questioning me, why Don? What's the problem with it? You got a good offer better than me, but you are not choosing it. Then I was saying, man, if I go to a big company, I'll be a specialist and I'll go into that line. Okay, I don't want to be a specialist. So that was my first. I'm not just criticizing about big company or small company. Okay, I'm not cynical about it. Okay, my point was, okay, whether I wanted to be a specific guy, expert in one specific area, or I want to be a specialist in many areas. So, my personal behavior, my personal taste is I used to go into a bigger, broader perspectives, and then I go to a narrow perspective. So, I chose, okay, I'll go to those companies where there is more problems. Okay, and there are not very big companies, maybe a smaller company, but they have maximum problem. They want somebody or something they are trying to do about it. So that is where I was pushing myself, and I was exposing from training to recruitment to compliance. So at the same time, as I was discussing a few minutes back, switching over the role, as a learning and development executive to compliance, which I was not knowing. Okay, I was having theoretical knowledge, but going to filing the returns, all that was handling that, going to PF office, ESA office, labor welfare fund, professional tax to local bodies. That was something completely different. And parallelly, when that is over, because that is only 2 or 3 days job in a high engaged job, then you have recruitment, because recruitment there was a shortage. Somebody wants some help from the recruitment, someone helping hand. So they okay, when can you do it? So or when you have free time, maybe you sit with those recruiters and how they talk, and they say that why don't you take up this particular call. So we just start learning from there. So exposing yourself or grabbing the opportunity initially in your career to not one specific but to many functions of HR, that will give you a broad perspective, will give you later on based on your personal characters or personality, what kind of job later you will be building it. That gave me an edge over my friends. Now also some of my friends call me and ask, Don, I have a problem, what to do? And that was very easy for me to answer, because not easy, rather it was okay for me to answer because I have already got exposed into those lines. So that was easy for me to tell them what can we do about it. So they may be different companies, they are at different level. They are maybe directors level, vice president level, but I am in a very different level. But the knowledge that you share, the kind of solution that you provide, the consultation that you give, that has been valued very high. That was a selling point for me to create a role. And so my suggestion for freshers like you may get attracted with some roles or particular function, but whether your personal character will be an advantage, give a strategic advantage towards that. If that is so, you can take it. But to create an impact in the organization, unless you have a broad perspective in that particular function, and then with that broad perspective, you look at the issue narrowly, and then link it to everything, and then take a proposal and give it to the top management directors, then your proposal will be sold, and you will have a higher value in the system. That is how you move from a low value chain to a higher value chain. So at the beginning of the career, my suggestion is try to get exposed to maximum functions and then go into depth or into each functions. If you are handling so many functions, but at a time you focus on one, maybe compliance, maybe after some time talent management, maybe after some time recruitment. So you will have a depth knowledge. So when you grow after 7 years, 10 years, 15 years, then you will be having a broader perspective. When you have a HRBP role, when a line manager or a project director comes and tells what is his problem, you may have a problem, but you will know what is the environment in which the problem is there, and you will be able to handle it in that way. And your team, you will be able to engage them in that. So you will be able to get better results, and that is how I think you should look at whether it is in HR or whether it is in any other function or profession you are taking. That is my suggestion.
Thank you, sir.
And in the skill part of it, integrity is very important. Okay, listening skills. I don't want to work with somebody who I have to explain 3 times or 4 times the same thing. There are some people in my department, if I discuss with my project manager, they may be listening from far, and I have to just look at it. They say, okay. I say, okay, fine, sir, I'll just close the door. Which means he's listening to me. I don't say that why you are listening to me. No, rather I want him to listen to what I'm discussing. And I have to just look at him. But the discussion will go, just I have to look at him. He will say, fine, give me the commitment, I will close it. Then I will give the commitment to him, he will close it up. So you see how you are able to reach out to people and how you are able to convince that. So listening skills is very important. When somebody says it, you listen it. And what he wants out of it, actually what he expects out of it, what is the result finally you want, that goes into it. So if that kind of particular person's if you will be preferred by guy. And the other one is convincing skills. Anywhere you have to convince, you should be pleasing, polite to people. They may be very harsh to you. Sometimes they say no, HR has no job. They simply sit and while away the time. But that's not the case. Okay, you may be sitting, and then according to them, but you'll be listening, you are observing a lot. Okay, so your communication, being polite. People may throw any number of points at you, but then you have to be very polite, but you have to focus on. You talk about discipline means not entirely following rules, and we are talking about focus. Discipline means focus. You focus on what you want, listen and focus. And with integrity and polite as much possible, but you are very strategic in your approach. Can be very good. So this is how where we look at from the fresher. Okay, analytical skills, analyzing, identifying issues, and relating to it to a bigger problem. So that is how you should not have this bookish knowledge. So reading the book and go. You need to know what is in practice in the industry. You relate that. So integrity, polite. Okay, I don't say diplomatic, I would say strategic, assertive, okay, and have a broader perspective will give you an introvert.
So first, MBA HR, you can answer. MBA Finance, MBA Others. Right. This topic was not HR or finance. We came to HR. First, I just did about it. So I did my MBA HR. Then I did my MBA diploma in Bangalore. Then I started a job from scratch. So as per you told, what as a fresher we are going to look into this. We did our MBA. MBA is a part. So whatever the experience you're personally gaining in this industry and the experience that will help you. Theoretical knowledge is fine. people will go theoretically, they are very much good, but practically is totally different. Some people are very much good at practical. They go with the decisions, they come with decisions, but theoretical knowledge must be there. But if you literally face this situation, then only you come to know how you gonna face it, how you gonna give a decision. So I did my career started in IT industry first as a recruiter, just junior recruiter, just so. And I have my clients. I just did my recruiting part first, and then I moved my level to IT recruiter. It's just a video recruiter to IT recruiter, then ITES, non-IT, all the segment I had handled, plus business consultants, like we had to bring the clients back. Not only doing recruiting, we have to get the clients outside, we have to give a proposal to the IT teams, so get the new proposals, get into the recruitment part and the business. Then I moved my career to the IT knowledge finished out. So then I have to change my career. Recruitment part, I first did my recruitment part. So I had to get to know the HR things. First, I had theoretical knowledge, but practically I don't have knowledge at that time. So recruitment I did till 4 years ago. Then I have to move myself from a comfortable zone of recruitment. I have to move apart. So I did profit. Literally profit that I moved over to the abroad. I went to Dubai. I did that for 2 years. There my position changed to the HR admin. So literally it's totally different. HR come admin, HR and admin DLC. So I was in my IT recruitment part. Now it's an HR and admin. All this statutory works start from joining to leave every end of the day-to-day admin activities, all the work I've been moved to all this situation. I don't want to be in a recruitment. I'll be just calling candidates. I want to explore. If you want to explore more, you have to go out and see for an opportunity. So that's why. So after finishing my 2 years, I just came back here and I joined here universities. Still, I do universities. The point is, when you start from scratch, you have to get to know HR things more. Not only recruitment or statutory. You are generalist. You have to explore, involved in things, involved in the situation. As John said, involved in the situation, involved in the toughest part. Then only you come to know where you have to take. So if you are coming out, finishing LBA, HR, finance, you are coming to the industry. We look like, okay, first analytical skill we see, communication we see. Then we just give you a chance. If in that industry, if you are surviving and you are adapting the situation, then you will be moving to next one. Until then you don't get out from that same comfortable zone, you will never get out from the comfortable zone. Till now we are sitting things. People say that he is coming daily morning, never to work. He's HR getting salary. But we do know as HR, literally they say he does do HR don't do work. They don't do work. They just literally comes in and they just leave as is. But the toughest part from start 1 to 31, there are a lot of works. Joining will be there, attrition, relieving, all this sudden recruitment will be there. Sudden some events will be happening. Suddenly we have everyone will be coming there, meeting will be there. We have to arrange all these things. And finally, salary. While in the one part is, when a candidate come inside, they will be God. It's a God. It's a God. Same candidate if we left from the leave from company, we give action.
Today,
Seriously,
we have introduced a VR. Everybody flocks to HR. The most sought after person today in companies when the VR is being promoted, whom employees can speak personally, okay, and confidentially. You have to project manager. You have to. So, as you rightly said in the beginning, when they have been recruited, they will be having a very high opinion about it. When there is going to be schemes of VRS or any other way of schemes, people will look up to HR for to get some clue about it, what is happening, what can we do next, and all that. And there the HR can take two kind of behavior. One is very detached, saying that I have nothing to do about it. It is your problem. You handle it. Or the other one is, man, yes, this is a problem. Okay, why this is a problem? Explain to the person. See that, okay, fine, this is the problem. This is going to be the solution. Okay, what is the help that you want? How you are going to? Okay, this is a scenario. This is you are going to face it. You are facing it. Okay, what is the next move? Come on, tell me what next. Then if we can focus. Then the employee who leads, and they are a part of the exit process, they will look up to us and like, I was in crisis. This guy really went beyond. They helped me on to show where I have to, how I have to move next, beyond this career, beyond this organization. So there where we can do a wonderful thing. The other one, little completely different from that. As an HR person, when you are starting or in the middle of your career, don't wait for the problems to come to you. Most of those we say, okay, he has some problem, and it comes, I will handle it. No. If you see there is a problem, you should rush to the problem. You go to that particular place, person's place, or project manager, team leader, or an individual guy. You go to him and ask what is the problem. What is the problem? Okay, how do you? So you have to search for problem. You have to reach to those places. It is where you get maximum learn. And if you don't have could not find problem, meet the person from a department. Ask him, man, what is happening? Okay, how is it going? How is the team? Ask questions. Just be curious. And he gives you so much information about his department, about his team, about project load, behavior, crisis, and all that. So you will come to know what is happening in that project, what is happening. Even to individuals. So business acumen that you gain and the business process workload that actually you will get a lot. So HR, whether we should be in the seat or you should move to different places is my suggestion is my proposal rather we should go to people and ask. Most cases HR is not a reachable person and we should be a more reachable person. But we also should have the very assertiveness where we need to be very strong and assertive and confidential on that. So we need to draw a very clear line as to what is confidential, where we cannot compromise, which is not confidential, we can completely and have helping tendency. Reach to people, go to the people's from where's a problem, who needs help, support. Don't wait for your so let him come. And that's where you learn a lot. And it's not only in HR and this talking about, maybe it is finance also. Okay, try to ask maximum questions to the answers.
HR will be like, so you come into mechanical analysis. It's very good. As we have to go ask the guy who is in a part that he's supposed to leave. He'll be in a mindset that he may get an offer with the other company, or he's a mindset to leave this company. So we could just ask him. Literally, people will ask, I need help. No one will ask. Just we have to give a hint. We have to talk to the guy, whether if he's leaving the job or we have to get to know the in person. The first in-person detail is very much important. Maintain the formal relationship between the HR and employees. Literally, a HR manager will never go and ask, what's your problem? But he has to. But the low-level people will go and ask frequently. A junior guy will go and ask me with a normal other junior relationship. Like employees. But HR managers go in this, that is fine for the organization. That he will maintain a formal relationship with all the employees. Nothing will be. You don't want to talk about it.
See, it is even relationship. HR is relationship. Now that is the core, as rightly you say. It's a relationship. How you are going to win in a relationship. That is the pinnacle of your performance.
Don't just speak of sentence. Daily see your employee, say hi, is there anything? That's it. Or that will be meeting monthly, there should be fine. So nowadays I can see in online virtually people see this their video in weeks of lectures. So I can literally see that because they will demotivating others to be HR. Now they see like they troll HR's thing. So wait until they come back to you. I can see many tools. But the real point is that HR see if a candidate is not good, we'll just still get back to you. At that time, we had to tell that this is not the suitable position for you. Then you can choose other industry or other job like that. That thing has to be done nowadays. It's not the old part that I'll get by today and never call. If that guy is not getting job, you're not looking at the situation for the, you're not a good candidate. We have to tell that this is not your industry, we just move to other industry so that we can get an opportunity. Either you don't have the job or to provide, you show the direction, that is enough to avoid this stuff. Now, most probably employers will demotivate HRs, but HR is come to know that they are the one thing, the bridge for the management, and without them, organization doesn't come. So, where are the questions?
Sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. This is me, Pratisha, and I have a question to you both. So the question is, you have talked about the skills that are required. Now I would like to ask, many a times you opt for a rejection, and have you ever regretted rejecting a person in your life? The right person you have rejected. Have you ever regretted for that in any times in your life?
Well, quality, as I told earlier, quality guy which is perfect for this job. Some personal, a manager is our GM. For an example, I am taking a sales consultant. That's a sales advisor. He is the manager knows the candidate very well, and I think that candidate suits for this profile. I have to close this profile, and that manager says that old organizational behavior, his behavior is not good, and he will do work. He will give the target. He will achieve the target, everything, but his behavior is not good. At this point of time, what the HR will do? So should I recruit that candidate or should I leave that candidate? So in this moment, we have to check that with that guy. So we'll little speed it out. Sometimes, mostly, we are putting into the reporting team. If the reporting manager itself doesn't want him, what we do, we just put a reject and we will return them. So it's such a good candidate because he don't want. If we put him in there will be a lot of definitely it will be outward for us. We have to go for it. We will reject the candidate if we reject. Either we show the direction, simple, as I earlier said, we show the direction which has to be done. Either if I take that candidate, I have to look at the other team if I am recruiting. So we have to choose the situation, how we are going to enable the situation without any conflict between the managers to the team. So that is what most of the time we will regret. Even we recruited a good quality candidate. Suddenly he will say, I am going abroad or I am not able to come. So we definitely regret. Regression is there. We will regret for every candidate if we dare lose. If we think the quality candidate is there, the recruitment it will be hard time. That's what I told. Recruitment is hard time. That's honest.
Okay, I have different facilities.
Yeah. Please.
See, I'm not a hiring manager. Okay, there's a project, there's a project director, there's a project manager, there's a team, and there's a hiring manager for that project. Now, I don't know 100% about the project. As an HR, we don't know. As a recruiter, by seeing a profile, we don't know. Or job description, we don't know. Okay, your profile, candidate's profile, I have a job description, we will not know. When we sit with the particular project manager, project director, or a hiring manager, or a team leader, or you would have conducted exit interview. In most cases, the recruiter may not conduct the exit interview. Okay, but as a generalist, when we conduct exit interview, you will know why he is leaving, what are the problems there, okay, what are the job role he had. Then we have extensive discussion there. Even with that, we will not be having sufficient knowledge about the position that we are actually hiring. Okay. So, as an HR, as a recruiter, it is our duty to see our role or our maybe our duty. Let me take it simple. That what are the resources available in the market which I think is probably suitable. Then I am bringing back to the in front of the hiring manager. He looks into it according to him. Okay, he has it. Okay. Now, we don't own the resource. He is actually going to own the resource. He is the owner of the resource. He is going to get the work done from the particular employee, okay, the candidate. So it is all his knowledge. With that, he may have various criteria. He will hire, or he may not hire. He may prefer, he may not prefer. But only what HR is interested is why he has not preferred. Why he has not preferred. Well, what was his expectation level, and what was candidate's level. And is a gap too far? Okay, if it is too narrow, we'll ask them why don't we look into it. But it is too far, there's a huge gap, then we say that we will come to the document, we have to look for another profile. Okay, so personally we don't have any intimacy or any connection with a candidate. We see it is a job market, okay, labor market from where we are trying to bring the options in front of the hiring manager. The hiring manager will actually have to look into it. He is going to manage the candidate resources. So he is going to manage the resources. So I don't think anything to do something very personal about it. But sometimes we do feel, as he says, okay, rightly he said is okay, fine. This candidate could have been the more closer choice. Okay, you try to convince the hiring manager. Sometimes they will be convinced because some of things probably he has not focused. We may bring it to him so that he may also consider to hire the candidate. So that is where we can do kind of a role. But we, as a neutral person, should be away from pushing a particular candidate. Rather, we should highlight the skill set of the candidate. That is how I think I would or my team would be to cover. Sometimes our team rightly said, when we say this was a right choice, but we have not selected it. Yeah, it is that to decide. But we have to take all effort to see whether this particular candidate is projected properly to the hiring manager. That was. Any other questions?
Hi, sir. I'm sorry. What do you like most about working in a human resource?
What do I like most?
To working in a human resource. In the department.
You are asking about me. What do I like the most? Okay. Okay, I'll go back to my personal life. Okay. My mom used to tell me that you're not very good in talking to people. Okay. So you choose teacher's career. Okay. Prefer as a teacher. And my friends used to tell me, man, you speak a lot. Okay. You come out. So I preferred, okay, fine, I'd be better in speaking or connecting with people. That is why I came into HR. Okay. And what I like the most is when employees look up to us or project managers look up to us and say that this is the guy whom I can tell the problem, he will solve it. Or he will take me to a place where the problem gets solved. That is where you get what do you call it, the satisfaction. He says, no, HR is God. That feeling comes only when people say, okay, fine, this guy, if I go. So in the company, maximum number of people, my target is 100%. If 100% comes to me, 100% I should, to 100%, I should be available to him and I put my effort. That is what I have. Somehow I have to come back again and say that have you got the solution done? Have you got the problem solved? What about it? Is there anything else I can? So when you do that, that is the feeling where I feel HR department has maximum. Pressure is there. Okay, good things and bad things are there, but that's the only thing I feel very happy about it. That's why I like to be in HR.
So, as per, I chose my career in HR. So, still I'm HR. That we have been continuing in HR. Many of my previous colleagues has been moved to a senior process associate. Till today, many of the colleagues they say that you are on the track. You are an HR track till now. Okay. I really say you should, even when they get away from the track, you have to put back on the track. It's really hard part there. So see, I got many offers like IT for process associate or analyst. I got job. Even that job got a much offer, I didn't took them. Because you literally, I did never say you love your job, you love your HR. And as you just like it yourself, first like it to be a HR. So now still we have been in HR, people see, people troll us, people still blame us as HR. But you have to be in that track. You have to be you. First to like yourself to be in a HR, then literally everything comes to you. Like even we have personal issues with this other departments and other departments give a high, but HR is a power they never get. They never get. Even if we are conducting some event, we will be happy to go as a contestant. We don't want to be an event manager or something, but we have to do the role also. So you should be multiple choices. You should suddenly you have to be an admin, suddenly you have to be a HR, suddenly you be hiring managers. So you should be focused on different parts to be like if you be in a HR, you never. You should be moved. Likewise, in a movie that that guy is that guy is the manager. Some Surya movie. I think. Likewise, you have to be available as I have said. So then only you will be in that HR part. If I am HR, I will be sitting in this place. I go back and come back. That doesn't work out in HR. You have to get out. You have to go all inch by inch to everyone. You have to check all this human resource part. That you have to fulfill that part, all part. Then only you will be a human resource.
I have one more point to say. Okay, I feel very happy when my proposals have been usually been accepted by the manager or my director or division head says, no, okay, John. When in the forums of say CEO or division heads are there, they say, okay, John, I'll go with your proposal. I'm okay with your proposals. Okay, whatever you say, okay, fine with me. Okay, so that confidence level when you have with the top management, because of your various behavior in various situations, how you have responded, how you have handled it, how you have involved in it, you have owned it. Okay, or when they have a problem, say that John, I have this problem. When top management says that they have a problem, okay, I think this will go in a very negative way. Please handle it better on behalf of them when they give it to us. So we see some confidence building with the top management. That is the what do you call it? Most happiest moment I have it whenever I work with the top management. So with the employees, this is one extreme. The other extreme is that. But sometimes you get hit when you put it as something nonsense. What is it? Either. So that time it goes into a ha. You feel and then quickly you have to come back. Okay, no, fine, great. Okay, this is possible. Fine. So how quickly I respond back to a pavilion, brother. Okay, that is what is very. It's a game,
At that moment, 100% success is people asking solution first, then you don't think apology. He's asking.
But don't expect a monetary benefit, okay?
So people asking you solution, we are providing solution, be in that level, that is self-satisfactory for us. That is enough for us.
That is what I've been living so far. Because most of the time, I think we only get the intrinsic motivation kind of factor where it's all psychological, untangible kind of motivation. Any other final questions?
Yes, sir.
Hi sir, this is Anu. What's your favorite motivational quote, sir?
Don't ever listen to motivation. What is you can listen? God has given 2 years time. Okay, has to listen conditionally. Which one you want to keep it, you just keep it. Unnecessary, just leave it out. Okay, well, speak. You can listen to the motivation, but they have their own experience. That experience is implemented by you, which you can take, which is useful for you. You can't take everything whatever the motivation speaker or other speaker says. Whatever that is useful, even it is might be a religious something or might be a good motivational normal speaker, you just take what is your part. How you are going to be that part. That take that thing. Don't take everything whatever the motivation.
So, when we have a concept.
Yes.
I think the biggest motivation that so far I had was, I think by chance related by a movie titled Who Am I? That is my best motivation so far. I mean, yes, exactly. Okay, but it is not actually from the motivation of Jackie Chan movie I gave, but it is personally, it is who am I, the number of times that I have asked who am I, and however I have related, whatever answer I got best, truly that has motivated and brought to what I am today. Okay, that is the most best motivational, I don't say quote, it's a caption.
No matter what. Seriously. If you just go see you in the mirror and you just have to.
Yes, sorry.
This question goes to Mr. Ryan. So you said you are not believing in the motivation and all those stuffs, but how do you deal with employee motivation?
Employee motivation. So, employee motivation coming on like we do some ER activities first. I said I never take all this motivation. Some part which I have to take, I have to provide employee. If I employ motivation, so basically, so we had an event in Mercedes-Benz that people or employees work in Mercedes-Benz. They didn't drive a car and they didn't think they take their family into the car. So people say that, say you work in Benz, well, have your family gone, have you drive the Mercedes car? So what literally we did is a small thing. We called the family and made a family day event, and we gave the best cars, which is GLE, that we took their family into this car, we just give a ride. This small thing just give you the drive in the car, but it's a luxurious thing that even if I work in Mercedes-Benz, have you gone in Mercedes? Some people ask, they have to say yes or no. Yes, I have gone. Most people they say no. So we brought them and their family and give a try. And this small part is a big motivation for us. Literally, we still now people and employees are speaking about this event. When is the next day event is going to happen? This is one part of motivation which I have. And moreover, motivational people see. Generally, we have managers will give a motivate them. They do some exercise itself. So employees' motivation is totally different by interacting with them. We don't give a motivation. Speaking in person itself, that is a big motivation. Whatever the problem you have to just speak it. So don't need to give a vivid motivation speech. Might be that might mean that if you are going to next. Nowadays, more motivational that life are not coming over virtually. So Monday motivation, Thursday motivation, every day motivation is there. So we don't require motivation.
So do you go for campus recruitments?
It's not in my company industry because ours is a luxurious green industry, so we don't believe on campus. We just require the skill, candidate experience. Most of it works like this with reference, automobile experience, reference it works. Because our group is a big group. Whether it's Jaguar or some Google, we just put it in, right? We just change the industry. So reference work out here. We don't know campus.
Regarding campus, if you look, ask me my industry, currently what I am into, it is almost like IS or scientist. For example, the difference between a boiler and a rocket is you are letting the rocket to lift the force, and what we are doing is you are holding the rocket and creating a power. That's the difference. Technology, everything is same. Okay, so one project costs 2,000 crores. Okay, almost like you do a sun. Okay, so same logic. So we require very highly specialized designers, engineers, technicians. Usually we consider a fresher is a person who has minimum 5 to 7 years of experience in that line. Okay? The person has minimum 5 to 7 years of experience is a person we consider as a fresh. Even that we find it very difficult to convince our technical team. So that is the kind of expertise that is to look at because it is a small mistake that goes gone. Okay, the entire boiler will blast and people will die in 200, 150 like that. Okay. So it is a very like specialized skill set required. Yes, of course, we have gone for supporting like HR, finance, for which we usually go for campus, but very specific campuses, not to very huge all round because our requirements are very limited. So we target few colleges and we inform them well in advance, and we call them for intern and we see if they are any projects, and if their projects are meeting our expectation, then we say okay, we will go for one or two candidates. So that is how we look at it. Otherwise, in technical departments, we usually don't.
Vice versa, industry. Industry wise, Mega came campus. That's my IT and other industry. Some industries have limited requirement, so they don't want all this input. Suddenly, for a fresher, people from MBHR come, be technically or be mechanical come, fresher will come. But what the industry requirement is, they don't think it will happen. So, some kind, whatever the qualification, but a good communication is, then it will be now Mega work. It's a backend, all backend support they will have. Not a main important question, not being closed in a campus. It's all up to you.
Okay, sir. Thank you. We come to the end of our discussion. On behalf of AAM, I would like our representatives to pay moment to for our
We also had a good session. We had some time to share our opinion, maybe thoughts, or experience. Thanks for inviting this. It was the instrumental. Thanks, please convey my thanks to Mr. Ravi Kumar who has referred me to this podcast. Okay, though it is a smaller team and very refreshing to interact with and have some thoughts. So, thanks. Thanks to share with Thanks.
Thank you to AAM for inviting me as well as Mr. Alex, and thanks to the management, educational plan. Thanks to all that are listening to this session.
Thank you, sir, for coming and attending this event. I thank AM for this wonderful opportunity. I thank one and all cooperator and take part in this event.
Thank you.
Thank you.